All right, I have that at 7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. Everybody stand and say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, just a reminder for public comment, make sure your name's on the legal pad on the podium. All right, first item on the agenda is approval of December 12th and 30th minutes and approval of the January claim document. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to read those documents.
I'll make a motion, we approve the December 12th, 30th, and 30th minutes and the January claim document.
Okay, got a first motion?
I'll second that.
Got a second motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, old business. First thing is fire department lease agreement. I have not heard back from either Chief Russell or Mr. Butler on the email I sent with that tentative agreement. I don't know how much time we want to give them before you folks want me to reach out to them again. I think one thing in negotiation language, they say we should come up with our BATNA, best alternative to negotiating an agreement. So if they decide not to come to the table to negotiate at all, what's the best outcome that we want in that situation? I mean, I don't know that they're not gonna come to the table, but if that's what ends up happening.
So we wouldn't even wait for them to respond, we would just come up with an alternative plan and then offer that?
No, I'm just, since it's been a month since I sent that email with the agreement, and I haven't heard back from them yet. My thought was just, with moving on down the road, we get to 2 months or 3 months and they still haven't come back. We've reached out to them again saying, talk to us, let us know what you think, and they never engage in that. What would we want to have happen with that, is what I'm saying.
Or what do you advise?
Well, I mean, I think you follow what Warren said, but I could send them a letter at some point if they're in your building and they're not abiding by your terms, right? I mean, you've got some rights there, obviously. We don't wanna be too heavy-handed, I wouldn't think, but that is an option.
Yeah, I mean, my concern was I wouldn't want the status quo to just continue.
Right.
We have a tenant in our building, we don't have an agreement. I mean, August and September, we got invoices from companies that did work in the building, and that work, nobody from the town approved that work or knew anything about it until we got the invoices.
And
So I don't want to see that continue.
And you reached out, last time you reached out to them was when? December?
Yeah, I sent the email the day after our
Meeting
in December, the 12th, so I sent it on the 13th with that agreement attached. So,
Why don't you send a follow-up, and then if we don't hear anything by then, send one in February, and then if we don't hear anything from them, then we have him send something.
okay,
I mean, that's, give them 2 more shots.
all right. So tomorrow, send an email saying, hey, we haven't heard, just checking in to see what you think. And then if by the February meeting, we haven't heard, we will send a second follow-up email. And then by March, we would go to having Graham send a communication.
Right.
Okay, I can work on that. Go ahead. Sorry, John.
I'm looking at the screen, you're the only one up there.
It's because you unplugged the
Oh,
cable. No. I'm sure it's just a delay on that because
Okay.
it's locked up, but
It's as if
it's recording my voice and it says we have 2
Okay.
viewers.
okay.
So I'm assuming it's going through.
Yeah.
It's probably just this side of it.
And he hasn't moved since I've looked at it either.
Technology.
Looks like
right?
he's holding meetings for himself.
I'm just impressed that John picked up on the technology issue.
Yeah, I am too.
So, all right. Going on to our next
Anyway.
item on the agenda, warranty deed for Penner property. So Graham got this to us earlier, and he asked us to just double check the legal description.
I guess in the dollar figure too. I pulled that from the appraisal document. Yeah.
All right, any questions on the warranty deed for the Penner property? I did have a
No.
good question
Okay.
on Tuesday night from another person who lived in town asking, why do we want the road widened? I just talked about the plans that AA Septic has with, they're gonna, they have a permit now from IDEM to do their own wastewater construction down there. James Penner also has a idea that he wants to put in a self-storage unit, kind of a set of things down there. So there could be an increase in traffic at some point, so having a two-lane road would be helpful for the
Yeah.
future. If more development happens, that might be helpful at that point, so.
As I was driving over, I think we may need a sales disclosure form to record this document. And that's something that somebody from the town would need, and James would need to sign. But that, it's kind of a formality at that point. I was thinking that if you approved issuance of a payment, once we get the signed deed back from James in recordable format, that might be one way to proceed.
Okay. Any other questions, thoughts?
Do you need a motion on it?
Yes, please.
I make a motion, we accept the warranty deed for the Penner property the way it's written by Graham.
Okay, got a first motion? Got a second motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And then franchise fee for Xfinity. So we've been dealing with this franchise fee. I know Dave sent an email that he found some information from AIM, but did you get, was that helpful to you at all?
No, I mean, every time I try to contact them, it's automated. And it's either, are you a new customer or an existing customer? I reached out to our Clayton Tex man.
Yeah.
He gave me a number and a name, Matt Kelly. I called that 5 times today, and every time I call, it says, call cannot go through at this time. So I don't know what to do.
Wonder if, what other towns are they in, Xfinity? I mean, they're everywhere, right?
Well, that number that you gave me's got an Indianapolis address.
Yeah, but does Danville have Xfinity?
I think
I
so.
mean, could we contact somebody in Danville or somebody in Plainfield or Monrovia?
Danville and Plainfield, probably.
Yeah, and then find out if they're getting a franchise fee
Yeah, I
from
guess
it?
we could, yeah.
Maybe next time you're on the town manager's little video call,
Yeah,
on the 3rd Tuesday of the month or whatever it is, that you could ask them,
right.
how do you guys get a hold of Xfinity for things?
And with the past providers, you just mentioned it to them and they started,
I just started getting money from them.
you just started getting money.
Yep. And if anybody will send a check to the town, I'll cash it and put it in the bank. Yeah, I don't remember ever going after any of those people about a franchise,
Well, they
except
bill-
the original one.
You know, they tack a franchise fee is included in everybody's bill.
Yeah,
that you
and then
pay.
they turn around and send it to us.
Yeah.
Is it completed here in town? It's not yet, is it?
I have no idea.
I don't know,
'Cause I
I've
still
got
see
it.
them trucks coming, running around here.
Well, they might be hooking folks up now.
Somebody was getting hooked up at the top of my street the other day, and then we got it about a month ago or so.
Okay.
Huh?
Neighbors did?
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep trying.
Yeah.
All right, new business, proposal from FSG. So they sent us a new proposal for municipal advising and finances. Everybody get a chance to look through that.
Yeah.
Looks like all this details on it were similar to last year's.
Except the price is more.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, it was only 3,000 last year. It was 5,000 this year. Inflation, I guess. But then they didn't come in at the beginning of the year either, so maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
Okay. Municipal prorated.
Yeah.
And the way I read this, it's based on how much we use them. So if we
Right.
don't pester them for too many things, they may not charge us the full 5,000. All right, any other points or questions on the FSG proposal?
You need a motion on that?
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept the proposal from ESG.
All right, I got a first motion,
I'll second.
got a second motion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, Pete, you're up next.
I don't have a whole lot.
Oh, if what? I can look and see.
Snowblade.
They only charged us
I
like
put,
one
I went ahead
time,
and
they
put
charged us a
a new,
complete
I had a new,
$3,000.
solenoid. I put that on, went out and down about 5 times and wouldn't go back up again. So I worked on it again today. I cleaned all the contacts and everything, and there's 13 different contacts in that plug. And there's one that was wiggly and it broke off.
And let me guess, it won't work without that.
Well, I'm not sure,
Oh.
because that one's been wiggly for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But when I unplugged it today, it finally came apart. So I called Greencastle, and they have a new wiring harness for $73. I thought about just putting a new wiring harness on it.
What's this on?
Pardon?
What's
The
this
snow
on?
blade for
The
the
snow blade,
blade,
the big
town
blade.
truck.
Yeah.
And Patrick was here, and we got all the sensors programmed and everything, and it's,
Hold on, you're skipping forward. So did you
Yeah.
get the new wiring harness
no,
then, or
no,
is
I
that
just
what you're
found out
asking
about
about?
this afternoon.
Okay,
And I'm just telling you that that's what it costs. and
Okay.
I was gonna go get it tomorrow, if
Yeah.
that's, you know.
okay. Any questions about the snow blade and the wiring harness?
No.
All
No.
right,
You need that, so they.
yes, we definitely need
Yeah.
to make sure that that's working.
Yeah.
All right. Any,
For
now we can go
Now we,
forward to
Patrick was
Patrick's.
here, and we got all,
weenie, right?
everything's programmed and everything, he's coming back next Thursday, and I said, you call me Wednesday, because I'm gonna try to locate all these. You know anybody that's got a metal detector?
The,
The manholes, man covers,
oh, we have a map.
I know. And we have snow too.
Oh,
I
mean, can we,
I see where you're going
I
there.
mean, we've waited since September. Can we wait till the snow's gone for you to
No,
worry with it?
hopefully not, I'm gonna try to find
Okay,
them.
all right,
Okay.
go for it.
But all I'm saying is, if I had a metal detector, it'd be a lot easier.
Sure. I have a metal detector, Sean has a metal detector.
Over here?
Yeah,
No, it's Monrovia,
Oh,
but I can bring one.
yeah, bring one with
Okay.
all right, there you go.
me. Yeah. You gonna put it in the shop?
Yeah, I'll just leave it out there to clean.
Okay. That's all I got.
Well, hold on. So, snow removal. I'm going back to snow removal.
Okay.
So, I don't know if everybody else has heard, the guy that Pete asked to help him with snow removal has quit.
Yeah.
Said it's too
The
much
last-
work.
Last 3 guys has done that.
Yeah.
No, actually 4, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He kinda quit in the middle of his shift on Monday,
Yeah.
so,
No, he quit on Sunday. He called me Sunday night at 8 o'clock and said, I hope I got everything done to your specifications, and I can't do it anymore.
so, I know a couple years ago we talked about making sure you had options for getting a hold of, you know, a local snow removal company that could help. I know you were out pushing snow for 10 or 11 hours on Monday and stuff, and so, what did we have in the budget for snow removal this year? Was it 3,000,
3,000.
5,000? I don't remember. Anyways. So,
Yeah, all
The
of a
thing I
sudden
know
it
is
says-
they're expensive.
What about the guy that came in today that was talking to you? Does
But
he
did you
push
not hear what
snow?
he said? He used to work for Hendricks County, and he said they called me and wanted me to come in. I told him no.
Yeah, but maybe if he was just right in Clayton,
Well,
he would
yeah,
do
it'd be
it.
worth asking, yeah.
Yeah, because, well, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
It's usually around, now Rutledge, his is $100 an hour, I believe, is what he charges.
And I said I'd only charge 75,
We-
just like
Yeah,
doing your thing. I'd only charge you $15.
well, I'll help out, and I can't
Yeah.
charge you because I'm
Yeah.
on the town council,
Yeah.
so you could call me. Don't hesitate to pick up the phone and say, hey, because
Well, that's
I'm
what
right
I
here.
kinda did to the guy Sunday night. I said, hey, if you need help, call me and I'll come in, because I don't wanna take work away from you. Well,
and then he said, I quit.
yeah.
yeah,
Right. Well,
He
I,
called me and told me he quit. I was like, oh my God.
I would,
Ah.
so, I mean, I got up early on Monday and went and moved a little bit of snow because I was bored, but, it's challenging work. It's hard, especially, where the cul-de-sac over in Gilbert Woods, like, what do you do with
Yeah.
the snow in a cul-de-sac when all the driveways come together and there's, like, you can't block somebody's driveway, so that's you gotta figure all that stuff out, but it's a matter of, I guess we need to come up with a plan and make sure we have something in place so that in the future when this happens, people in town need to get out and get to work, or they have,
Or they just want to
bread
complain.
and, to be fair, there were people calling from the Belleville addition and over by Martha's Orchard saying, hey, why didn't you plow my road? And, well, we don't need to plow your road because you're not in Clayton, but.
But I have a
So-
Clayton address.
One of them said we need another parade.
So, there's
yeah.
no, end to the,
Yeah.
what do they call those, armchair quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
They all have, their advice they wanna give you, but, like I said, you can call me, you've trained me how to move some snow, so I'll be happy to go out and push some snow. But we also wanna have backup, so if we have, a landscape company here in town, I know, McCleary, Carson McCleary, Ben Wright, and these are people close by that, have offered to help, so
Well, I've
Just a
lost
matter
my
of-
income
Well,
base.
well,
you probably need to make sure to, again, contact them and lock in, what they're gonna charge us, so that we know, but,
If I can find a guy who thinks it's fun.
that, yeah, that the side-by-side would be a good one. To me, it's a good machine, especially if it's not real heavy snow. It'd be good on intersections, because when he's doing intersections, he's gotta back up and do so much stuff, where if he's just driving, pushing it straight down and back, and the side-by-side could take your intersections and
Yeah, just
smaller,
come behind me and
in smaller
push off
places,
the
but,
corner.
but he's one lone wolf trying to do it all. It just don't.
That one right there. That's it.
all right. So that's just my thought, is let's come up with some backups to whatever plan we come up with, is let's have a plan A, plan B, and so on and so forth. And so call around to some of these other landscape companies, ask them how much they would charge us to help, and then we have an idea of what we
The
can do
only thing I'm
next.
afraid on that is a lot of these people's got so many contracts.
Yeah, they've
Sure.
got for parking lots and stuff.
Yeah.
The guys that were doing the bank parking lot, they pushed a little snow and then they sat and talked in the corner over there for, 45 minutes, an hour, and then they pushed a little bit more snow, and so, I mean, maybe they were bored, maybe they wanted to come out and help us
Well,
with some
Jim
of our
Paul
streets.
thought they worked for the town, cause he seen me. I pushed into Jim's, that little alley by Jim's house.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, hey, did you get on them guys for sitting? I said, they don't work for the town.
Yeah.
Right, they were
Yeah.
sitting a while, but anyway. All right, anybody else have any other questions for Pete, town manager? Okay, thank you, Pete. All right, police department, I was gonna say Chief Remender, here, taking his place today, thank you very much.
Yes. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, I don't have a lot to pass along, other than maybe a recap, since I deal with all the training for the police officers on the department. Training for 2024 went really well. The state of Indiana requires a minimum of 24 hours worth of in-service every year, and I'm glad to say that almost everybody was well into the 30s, and some officers even in the 40s on how many hours that they got for in-service training hours for the year. And we would like to continue that going forward. It's no cost to us because we have 3 instructors now in the department that are Academy certified instructors, and we can handle almost all of our training in-house now, except for what's called a psychomotor skill, which is your firearms, your defensive tactics, and your emergency vehicle driving. Those have to be specialized instructors in those specific fields. We don't have any of those currently. But those are, you're looking at 2, 4, 6, 7 hours a year for those, where the bulk of it is generalized instruction, which most of our guys can, we can handle in-house now. So, I'm glad to say that our in-service training is going really well it did for 2024, and moving forward it will. So, any questions for the police department?
I sent Thomas and Brian a link to the grant program for body camera.
Okay.
So,
I
I don't know, I sent it before the email was working, and then I sent it after.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear back from them, so you might.
I will double check with them and see.
It's
where
easy to
that's at.
Google and find it too. It's
Yeah.
tribal, rural, and municipal body cam grants.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get with Tom and Brian and look into that. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Sean Masco.
Yeah.
How's it going? Got December's report to go over. The month of December, we did 3,538,000 gallons of water. Average flow of 114,000 gallons a day. We had 5 inches of rain, and treatment plant capacities at 38%. Our removals were all good. We wasted about 25,000 gallons, supernated about 47,000, and thinner processed about 17,000 for the month. We were good on all our results. We had no violations. Everything came out really well. As far as projects go, we started working on the inventory list of equipment and supplies at the plant. We haven't gotten real far on that with the snow and the holidays and stuff, but we have started on it. Timers, I'm still waiting to get back with my electrician, and I did talk to BBC, but they haven't given me an exact time when they're gonna get out to install the new alarm system on our blowers and equipment out there. That's pretty much, also with this, I did put the year end, on the next page. We only had, after when we started working with you guys, 4 or 5 months, so it's a little bit not complete, but since we started, this just gives you data from the facility and what the treatment plant did over the whole year. Just for informational purposes. I did check on the generator fuel level. We have half a tank of fuel in there, so I don't think it uses much fuel when it does its test runs. I still need to check with Penner and see who you guys are getting fuel from. Worst case scenario, and get it from the same guy that we get it from at other places, and set an account up or something, but we're okay. We have half tank, so that'll last a while.
Isn't
And
it-
we don't have any records of paying somebody to fill that thing up, just magically
I went back and
gets
looked through the
done.
McAllister and I didn't see anything.
All right,
And McAllister's would do it, right? McAllister's would.
I was thinking,
Not typically, no.
well, it's Keystone now. I was thinking there's the one that done it,
I know a lot of co-ops do it. I don't know if
Yeah.
you get any co-op bills.
I'll have to look back through that then and see. Cool. Okay.
diesel fuel very rarely just magically appears.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen too
But
often.
I'm glad we have half tank, so
Yeah.
at least we're.
It makes us feel a little more confident.
Right. So, it's not on fumes yet, so.
Right, exactly.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you for checking into that.
No problem.
Keep looking to see what, find out on how that fuel got there, but.
Keep it-
Anybody else got any questions for Sean? All right,
No.
thank
you
you.
very much.
Okay. All right. Mr. Swanson, you wanna come up? Give us your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, Michael Swanson, I live at 4501 Pennsylvania Street here in Clayton. Just had a couple questions in regards to the creek project on the bid that you guys approved on the last town hall meeting thing. Well, actually, it's a year-end meeting. You mentioned there was other bids on that one. I was wondering if I could see them. 'Cause you
Well,
usually get like
we
3
never
bids.
got any formal bids except the one that we approved, at the December 30th meeting. We had 10, excavation companies that Banning reached out to and seemed to show some interest.
Right.
3 ended up coming out and actually doing an on-site visit, which
Right.
you met.
Yeah, I was
most
with
of
you
them,
guys.
so yeah.
when we walked it.
But then those, on the deadline in November, none of them submitted a bid.
Right, okay.
So what Banning did, they reached out to the 3 that actually showed up and said, why didn't you submit any quotes or bids or anything? And they all said that they felt like the, project documents were more complicated than they were used to.
That 184 page.
Right, so Banning went to work and just consolidated they didn't change the details, they just consolidated the paperwork. And then sent it back to those 3, and then Jammer was the only one that said, I'll do it, and they quoted the $9,000 quote.
Okay, then can I get a copy of the updated?
Sure, yeah, absolutely,
because-
right,
Because I
absolutely.
love that piece.
Yep, we'll get that, to you from, I think Pete, Rush's, I can
Yeah,
just reach
Pete,
out to him and say,
yeah.
can we get a full copy of the, bidding requirement documents, so
Right.
you can look at those.
I've got a copy on my desk. for you.
Oh, okay, there you go, so he'll just hand it to you.
I'll sign it off, then I'll email it back to you to
Yeah.
make
I'll
it
put the
official.
PDF.
So this is the rewrite. You need a copy of the rewrite.
The rewrite,
The
yeah,
rewrite,
he wants
yeah.
the new,
Yeah.
the consolidated version of it.
Yeah, whatever the updated revised
Yeah.
version of it is that is placed.
And according to
It's
Pete, it
concise.
didn't, according to Pete from Banning, the overall information didn't change, he just consolidated some of the, I don't know what that
Yeah.
means, but in his
Right, well,
words.
I
I can-
just want to have a copy from our.
Sure thing,
record.
yeah,
And then the other thing is I received the bid from Pete yesterday. I got a hard copy from him. They later on emailed it to me. It looks like that, so that was the only bid then?
correct.
So concern I had was it looks like there's several things left out on that. And I emailed you guys about it this morning. I just want to make sure you got the email and, because the bid expires on January 15th. So if anything need to be addressed. One concern was that the bids seemed to be extremely low. And then the other bids we've had on that project before, they did it in linear feet. So, for example, the property west of me was 200 linear feet, and it cost significantly more back in 2019 than what this bid is for my project, which is 500 linear feet. So I was just concerned that things might get missed. So I just want to make you guys aware of that, just keep communications open.
One thought that I had after reading your email this morning was, would it help to have a meeting here with, Pete from Banning, Pete from Town of Clayton, and, the Jammer, I don't know.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
the-
right.
Jammer
that's-
Excavating,
Yeah.
superintendent or something, and then, you know, just come and sit and discuss
Well,
these
yeah,
things, because, I mean, I was worried, like, you know, they have in there listed about filling the hole, which I
Right.
thought was separate, but they
Well,
put it in their document,
Right,
right, which
And-
I'm fine with them filling it, but I just wanna make sure it meets the
right,
criteria.
and I
of
understand the bid that Banning would have put out doesn't necessarily cover every aspect of the thing, but a lot of the things that specifically were creek driven that we discussed on site didn't seem to wrap in there very well. And I know how bids tend to become statements of work, and
Mhm.
things get missed, so I just wanna make sure that was clear.
Yeah, and that, so, I mean, to me, I think like a meeting beforehand, before any work gets started, could be helpful. Just like when we did the community crossing matching grant for our repaving, our
Right.
mill and repave, the superintendent of the job or the foreman came and met with Pete. They did a walkthrough, you know, talked about what they were gonna do with this road and the sidewalks and all that.
Yeah,
So
if you wanna do that, yeah.
something similar to that for you to,
Yeah, if
to
you
sit
want,
and bring up your points and say, you know, this is how many linear feet are you,
right, yeah, and that, yeah, if that would be helpful, yeah, I appreciate that for sure. You know, I like giving input, you know, to kind of keep the hiccups from happening, if you will.
okay? Yeah, I think that, I mean, that sounds appropriate to me, to set up a meeting like that, and Pete can just email Banning Engineering and say, hey, can we set this up before work gets started? I think he emailed again this afternoon on a timeline. Did you get that from Banning Engineering on,
Yeah, I think.
like,
that's
work
what-
getting started sometime towards the end of
Yeah, I think-
February? And
Okay,
then
right, yeah, I think there was,
completed.
I think Pete forwarded me something where they gotta
Yeah.
finalize a contract.
So we got some time
Okay,
to be able to, yeah, put together a meeting where you can come and attend and say, you know, I have questions and,
right. 'Cause I know when we do the walkthroughs, I try to express my concerns, but yeah, that could easily get, you know, since we're out in the field, it could easily get missed.
sure,
So, okay, that's all I have.
that sound like
Yeah, yeah, I
a
like
good
that.
plan moving forward?
Absolutely. I do
All right.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, anybody else have any other questions for Mr. Swanson or comments?
Sorry, I'm walking away already.
Okay,
You're watching me too much.
all right. So, first meeting of the calendar year, we usually do officer selections, so I'm gonna open up the floor for nominations for town council president and vice president.
I nominate Doug for president.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a nomination for Doug for president and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, and nominations for vice president.
I nominate David
Okay,
as vice president.
got a first? Got a second? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right,
What was wrong with me saying Doug?
I mean,
Guess I could get
you
stationary.
could say it like my mom says it when I'm in trouble.
Douglas?
Douglas Allen.
Right.
Jenny, do you have anything further?
I have an
for the town
encumbrance
council?
resolution, evidently it didn't get on the,
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize,
Well,
I
I-
skipped forward.
no, I was redoing it today. It's just, it's
Where were you on?
encumbering $676 in the motor vehicle highway fund for replacement flag poles. So
Okay.
I got a thing from Flag and Banner that they could get us 18 for $676. So
Nice.
I've got the bill dated 2024, so that's the only money that I have to encumber.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions on the encumbrance amount or what we're using for? Flags, 600 and
Flag poles,
Flag
flag poles
poles.
only, they're
Just flag
$38 a
poles.
piece, yes.
the little white fiberglass things.
Uh-huh,
All right.
uh-huh.
All right. So, need a motion for our encumbrance.
I'll make a motion. We accept the encumbrance.
All right. Got a first motion?
I'll second.
Got a second motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Got a
Anything
third.
else, Jenny?
No, that's all
All
I
right.
have.
Graham, did you have anything else for the good of the order? Dave,
No, I do not.
anything for the
Okay.
good of the order? John?
No. Yeah, no.
John
So-
has nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Put that in the minutes.
I am.
Did we skip anything else?
I-
All right, I need a consensus to adjourn.
Yes, consent, yeah.
All right, meeting adjourned, 7:35.
I texted Jenny earlier.